Hello and welcome to HCA 330, Principles of Accounting for Healthcare. My name is Chris Gibbons. I'm going to be your instructor for the next few weeks. I'm also the director for the Healthcare Administration Program and the Allied Health Certificates here at Mercy College. Now, welcome to HCA 330. Now, this class is really the first part of a two-part series, though it's not formally a two-part series, so don't let that worry you if you haven't done the two-part series. But the accounting class is really seen as the first class, then followed by our finance class. So for some of you, you'll be taking finance with me later on this summer. Some of you may have already had finance. Don't worry, you'll be fine. And as long as you're taking finance maybe in the next semester, I think you'll be able to retain the knowledge from this class to do very well and to help you with that finance course. And if you're not taking the finance course, that's fine too. These courses are designed to somewhat stand alone, but the accounting course does provide some fundamentals that will be useful for you really in anything that you do as a healthcare manager and administrator and in learning that language of business. And that's really what accounting is. It's the language of business. It is a system, an artificial system that we have placed upon the activities of business and organizations, and they tend to work pretty good. It's pretty as far as a almost like a science in a way. It works pretty well in helping organizations run smoothly, and it's been done for hundreds of years. So the kinks have been somewhat worked out, but they're always being adjusted as things go on as well with accounting. All right, so that's a little bit about the fundamentals of this course. Let's talk a little bit more about what we're going to learn. Again, as I mentioned, it's the language of business. Accounting is the language of business. So with any new language, it can be difficult. This class will be challenging for you. It is a 300 level class. It will have some peaks and valleys for you, especially as you're kind of learning new terminology. I will say unfortunately, for a good percentage of students, they don't really like math and they feel a little bit uncomfortable with numbers. And of course, with accounting, we're going to have some numbers in accounting. Don't let that worry you. If you're not, doing well with math, that is okay. I think what we really want to go away with in this course is understanding the principles behind accounting, that you understand how these things were developed, various, let's say, statements are developed, because you as a manager, most of you will not be involved in the accounting side, but you will be involved with using the information coming out of accounting and finance to make decisions for your department, your region, your hospital. So you will be using this information, and understanding how that information was produced, I think, is critical. You want to have a good insight into what that is. And that's really my goal for this course, is you having a good insight to what is happening kind of behind the scenes in the accounting world to produce the information that you're going to be given to help you make decisions. So you're able to kind of weigh the value of that information in your decision making process as a healthcare manager, healthcare administrator, healthcare leader. So I'm not trying to make bookkeepers or accountants out of you, though we will dabble a little bit in those kind of activities. Again, just so you become more familiar with how these processes are done and how this information is derived. But again, with this type of accounting course, we do not expect that level of competency, again, as far as the bookkeeping and accounting functions go. So that's kind of what we're going to be learning throughout the course. Now, how to be successful in this course. I said it's going to be challenging, but it's very, very doable. To be successful, what you want to do is just apply yourself. It sounds very simple, but that's what you need to do. Apply yourself. You may not get the right answer all the time. You may miss the mark on some of our assignments. That is okay, and I expect that. But Expect also is that you did put some effort into it. That you do I see that there was some critical thinking behind the activities that you did. And if I see that with the grades are going to reflect that in a very positive fashion. Now, if you give up, don't send anything at all, or just kind of mail it in, that's going to also reflect in the grade. So just apply yourself and you'll do very, very well in this course. Some other things about this course, and just kind of going off of past student feedback, just so you're prepared as you go into the course. You'll find that the quizzes that we have can be challenging. They'll be difficult, especially in the beginning. When we're going to mix up the quizzes, I have some different formats of quizzing that we'll do. We'll have a quiz every week, but I can tell you the students have always said, boy, the quizzes were kind of tough. Yeah, and they are kind of tough, and they're designed to be kind of tough. Now, are they tricky? Well, they're meant to be, using critical reasoning tools and make sure that you're reading the question. They are meant to be challenging, so do keep that in mind. Now, if you look at your quiz grades as you're going through the course and you realize, geez, they really aren't that good. Well, hopefully that kind of calls your attention to maybe some areas to focus on. But I would also say don't don't be dismayed because there are so many other points within the course, and we'll go over the points that it's really of little impact, even if you do maybe poorly on the quizzes. Now, that's for about half of the students who kind of not get the normal quiz grades that they're used to. The other half of the students do just great and sail right through the class. So just keep that in mind as you're doing the quizzes. And I am changing the quiz formats will change up a little bit to really appeal to different type of learners and quiz takers as we go through. But I will say probably the first three quizzes will be a little bit challenging for you. Again, to be successful in those quizzes, make sure that you're reading the question thoroughly and that you've read the material. Read the material in our textbook. Let me talk for a moment about the textbook here. So we're using this book right here, the Gopinski book, and it is the Bible for healthcare finance study. For many many years, this is the book. It is a great textbook, but it is challenging as well. It's written for both the baccalaureate level, undergrad, and graduate level. So it can be kind of challenging. Now, I'm not going to focus in on a lot of the more sophisticated nuances as we go through here. Um, Knowing that those are more for folks that are in graduate level programs, but the fundamentals in here are solid for the undergrad. So we'll be using this book. It's not an easy read. I'll be honest with you. It's very dense material, very condensed as well. So even though you might see that you have a weekly reading assignment might be only 25 pages, those pages are pretty jam-packed full of information. So, what do you need to do? You may need to read it twice. That's what I find that works for me. Reading it a couple times may help. Also, with the quizzes, you can do whatever strategy that you have. You know that they're open book, open note, but somewhat limited on time. So do whatever system that you have. Most of you probably have developed some sort of quizzing system, whether you take notes. Historically, I've found the students who are the note takers do phenomenal on the quizzes. They're actually taking notes directly out of the textbook. That does a couple of things. One, it condenses all the essential information that they think is going to be on the quiz. You have to sort of strategize there. And just the mechanics of writing it down helps you to retain and remember. So a kind of a twofer for that. You don't have to do that, but that's when I ask students in general who have been successful, that seems to be their system. The other thing you can do is just make notes in there, put little post-its on pages so you can reference them quickly on key subjects that you think will be on the quizzes. So that's a little bit about the quizzes. Again, the most challenging part of the course will center around that, but do know that we are going to be changing the quiz format as the class progresses, that you might find a format that appeals better to you as a quiz taker. So don't despair. You'll do fine. And as I said earlier, what do you need to do? Apply yourself, and you'll do just great in the course. All right, so that's kind of how to be successful in the course. But before I conclude that, I want to add one more piece, and that's communicate. So, do you have any problems or questions as you're going through the course? Don't hesitate to talk to me. The best way to communicate to me is through text message. I'm going to put my cell phone number in the course news in a couple of days, so you'll see that in there. Take note of that, my cell phone number, and text me should you have an issue. Maybe it's a question, maybe it's a problem. You got called into work and you worked a double shift, or your child was sick, or you were sick, or a car broke down, or something crazy happened in your life, and you're going to miss a due date. Let me know. Let me know about that. So um, I'm more than happy to extend due dates as long as you communicate to me and let me know what is going on. All right. So those are the kind of the big things for success in the class is, apply yourself on the quizzes. You'll do fine, even if your quiz grades aren't great. You'll do good on that, and then you'll also find we'll have new and different types of quizzing methods as the class progresses too that might fit your learning style better. So keep that in mind as well. Apply yourself throughout the course. Apply yourself throughout the course. Apply yourself throughout the course. You'll do fine, and then communicate, communicate, communicate should you have any issues at all. All right, let's jump in and take a look at the course a little bit, and I'll give you a quick overview. Then we're also going to jump and look at the syllabus as well. So one of the things I like you to do is make sure that you're taking a look at the course news. For those of you that have had me in other courses, you know I'm a little bit crazy in the course news. I like to post a lot in that course news, a lot of video in that course news. That is where we're going to be basically, I'm going to be talking to you is on this page. So look for updates here. Check into the course frequently. Even if you're ahead on your work, check into the course frequently. You'll find our syllabus here for this summer located right here. Make sure you're printing out that syllabus. Actually, I'd like you to pause the video right now and print that syllabus out because in a few moments I'm going to do a quick syllabus walkthrough, and I'd like you to have that in your hand should you want to take any notes. So pause the video and then come back. Well, great. I hope you're back with that syllabus in hand, and we'll continue our little walkthrough on the course. So we talked a little bit about the course news. As far as getting into the course, many of you are already aware that you'll want to click the content button up here. But we may have some people that are brand new to the program, whether it's a medical imaging program, healthcare administration program, or some of our other programs here at the college, and this may be the very first course that you're taking. By the way, if this is your very first course that you're taking at the college, welcome to Mercy College as well. So to access your courses within Brightspace, you want to click on the content section after you land on the course homepage. Look at that course news and then click the content. That's where you're going to find all of your stuff throughout the course. Now, our course is broken up into 8 modules, as is most of our courses here at the college. And we'll be going through 8 modules this week, or I should say, not this week, but throughout our weeks here in the summer semester. You will notice, every module has a little introduction. Please take a look at that, and then our key learning objectives. And then every module will have its own rhythm and pattern where we're, readings and presentations. We'll have learning activities, and just about every module will have a quiz, unless we have a midterm or a final, and then you will not have a quiz that week. All right, so that's a little bit about the flow of the course. We do have an overview page, which I like students to check out. Again, you'll find more syllabus information. You'll find some more keys to success in the class, and a little bit of bio about me, should you have any questions about what I'm all about. All right, so there is that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that syllabus, and we're going to talk a little bit about the what we're doing as far as assignments throughout the course. Our syllabus kind of follows a standard template here. We got our add drop dates on here. Of course, no one has to drop, I hope. But if should something happen and you have to drop the class, make sure you're looking at these critical dates because it depends on how much you're going to get charged. So if you're dropping this week, you got to do it this week. Don't wait until after the 22nd because then you do not get a full refund. But again, hopefully all of you are okay. And my goal is to get you through this course and get you through our learning objectives successfully. So, we're I'm going to be vested in that over the next few weeks and getting across that finish line. And that finish line are the course objectives, where we want to describe the purpose of accounting and the accounting process. As I mentioned before, we want to demonstrate the application of basic accounting terminology, identify, interpret fundamental financial statements, balance sheet, income statement, statement of cash flows. If we don't know what that is, that's okay. We're going to learn. If you know what those are, you're already ahead of the game. And then we're going to talk about, you're going to have, hopefully, be able to explain the essential functions and applications of financial and managerial accounting. And that's what this course is really about. As far as if you hear anybody taking an accounting course, usually they're broken up into two or three different worlds. Accounting there's called financial accounting, there's managerial accounting, and there can be even tax accounting. So if you were a finance major or an accounting major, you're taking multiple courses in each one of those three areas. This one, we're kind of taking the whole world of accounting with a healthcare perspective and mashing it all together and giving you that a little bit of the highlights of all of that. And then lastly, we want you to be able to summarize the importance of accounting specifically to healthcare organizations and operations. The required textbook, well, hopefully you got it. You got this one, okay? If you don't, let me know. I will be putting the first week's reading up in the course news on tomorrow. So if you don't have the textbook, I know there's a couple of you I've talked to already who have this on order and haven't received it yet, but we will have the readings in there for you for this week. And I'll also put them in for next week as well. So you'll have those readings, but hopefully in the next 2 weeks, everyone has their textbook because it is hard to do the class without a textbook, nearly impossible. So, but again, for those of you that don't have the textbook, I will have a PDF up Tuesday morning for you so you can start your reading right away. You do not need if you do have the cases book, Cases in Healthcare Finance, that is nice to have. If you have it, great. We probably will be phasing out that book, but we will be using case studies from that book throughout this course. I will provide PDFs for you for those case studies. So if you don't have it, don't worry. If you got it, great. But either way, we got you covered. All right. So we won't be doing any presentations with webcams in this class, so I'm sure you're all excited about not having to do one of those. And there's a breakdown of the points and our fundamental assignments. We're going to have learning activities every week. These are going to come primarily out of that textbook. So look for those every week. Might have a little bit of mix where maybe you're writing a small essay type paper, and then some weeks you might be actually doing problems. So, but those will be our learning activities. Basically, fancy word for homework. That's your homework. Module quizzes, I mentioned we're going to have a quiz every week. We're going to have something called a progress journal where I'm going to be checking in on you 4 times throughout the course. I really find that's a great way for us to talk, for me to know more about you, how you're doing in this course, how you're doing in all your other courses, and feedback from me, like, what can I do to help improve? How can I help you and your learning style? So I think that's been really successful for me, and the students have really appreciated that. So hopefully you will too. So we're going to be having the progress journals throughout the course. It's the easy points. Those are things, just talk to me. It's all through. You're going to be writing an assignment, but it's the easiest points you're going to get in this course. So please do it. You always want to get those low-hanging points out of the way. Case studies, we are going to have a couple of case studies. They are pretty hefty in the points at 125. I am looking really for, did you apply yourself? Did you apply critical reasoning? If you don't have the right answer, that's only this much of it. I'll usually reserve the top 5% of a grade for people that have perfect answers, which means that you could do everything else correctly and get a 95. Pretty good, right? Even though you got the wrong answer. Of course, for those people that did everything correctly and even got the right answer, then those folks will get the 98 hundreds percent. So don't let that worry you. Again, just apply yourself and you'll do great on the case studies. We'll have one midterm exam and we'll have one final exam. All right, let's take a look real quickly. These are just descriptions of kind of what we just went through on each one of the assignments. Now, we have a course schedule. This course is a 3-credit hour collegiate undergrad level course, 300 level, upper division. That means it's difficult. There's no way around it. A 400 level courses are, you're looking at more material. We're expecting a little bit more synthesis in your understanding of material after it's been presented. Of course, you got to learn it, and then you got to kind of be able to synthesize it and sort of move it around and apply it. So that's where you're going to get these 300 and 400 level courses, kind of the distinction there. So with that being said, we've only got 6 weeks this summer. It is going to fly. You will not believe how quick it goes. For those of you that are used to our 8-week format, which is our normal format, this summer is only 6. And that is because summer is a shorter semester and because we also have another little anomaly that's happening only for 2017, and that we've lost an entire week out of our summer semester. Normally, summer is 12 weeks long here at Mercy College. This summer is 11. So what does that mean? This is a 6-week course. Well, this means for those of you that are starting a second course in the second 6 weeks, you're going to have 1 week of overlap. There's no way to get rid of that 1 week of overlap. We're going to have that. If you're taking the finance class with me, we're going to feather the 2 classes together, so you're not going to get killed in that first week in the finance class. If you are taking any other HCA class, we're all aware we have the overlap this summer. So we're going to be very understanding that could be a difficult time for folks as you're running 2 classes concurrently. All right, so know that we're going to try to work with you over this summer to kind of get through that piece. Even if we didn't have the overlap, we still have only 6 weeks to cover 3 credit hours of content. The way it works with higher education is that a course is basically it's given a weight, and that weight is the number of credit hours. It's not the time to which the course runs. So I could have a 3 credit hour course that runs in 2 weeks, or I could have a 3 credit hour course that runs in 16. The regulations require that the content is the same. There's all kinds of requirements in the back end that a 3 credit hour course is a 3 credit hour course no matter what the time frame is. So we have an accelerated format, obviously. So keep that in mind. Some students who are new to the program are like, wow, this was really a lot. And I'm like, well, it was a lot, but if we had 16 weeks, it would have felt pretty darn slow to you as we're going through it. The fact that we have 8 or 6, it's gonna feel like a lot. So make sure that you're doing good time management. You're squaring that time away to make sure you get your reading assignments, watch your lectures, and do your homework. If you do that, you're going to be, again, golden throughout the course. So there you go. You can see when everything is due. I pretty much have unified, just kind of due dates will be on Sunday every week to do that. I do see actually with quiz 1, I have a error in here. We're going to actually do quiz 1. That will be due this Sunday. I'll change that really quickly. So we want to keep you on track for those quizzes. Now, if you notice, we had 8 modules. We only have 6 weeks. Normally, it's a module a week. Well, the math tells us we're going to have to double up. So what I've picked is 2 of the somewhat lighter modules and have paired those together. So next week in week 2, we're going to be doing modules 2 and 3. And then when we get to week 5, we're going to be doing modules 6 and 7. Don't worry, I'll remind you about this as we go, but just keep that in mind. Now, what I have done is if you were taking this course in an 8-week format, there's a few more assignments that were in our 8-week format. I have removed some of those, again, understanding that this summer is going to be a little a little bit more compressed, and I wanted to give the class like the same kind of feel that an 8-week class would have. So there have been some rather major assignments that we were doing that have been removed out of the course. You don't know that because you don't see them on there, but if you were taking this in an 8-week format, we have a little bit more time to let it sink in and apply some of that stuff that we're learning. But some assignments have been removed again. But I think we've kept the essence of what is truly important in the course, and again to make sure that we have met those course objectives that I talked about in the very beginning, because that's what I'm here to do, right? To get to those course objectives. All right, well, that's our little walkthrough on the course, the syllabus, how to be successful, what we're going to learn in this course. I love teaching the accounting course and the finance course over the summer. Again, I think things will go great this summer. Remember, again, to apply yourself, communicate with me. Make sure you're kind of squaring your week away about how you're going to complete all of your assignments. Um, and you'll do absolutely fine in this course. All right. Again, if any questions come up, please contact me. Look for my cell phone number. I want to let everybody filter into the course and view this video before I put out another news item in there with my cell phone number. But stay tuned for that. So later on this week, I think around Wednesday or Thursday, I'll have my cell phone number on there. I kind of like to hold back on that, let everybody get in, get acclimated, watch these videos and then put that out there. So text me if you do have any issues. In the meantime, if something does come up before that, you do have my contact information located right on the syllabus here. So please don't hesitate to go ahead and email me if you have any kind of things that are coming up right now in days 1, 2, and 3 with the course. All right. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll be seeing you next week.